Good morning, everyone. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Imagine that everything you've been struggling with, every challenge, every fear, every limitation, suddenly had a solution, a path forward. What if I told you that the key to unlocking that power, that breakthrough, has been right there in front of you all along? Because here's the truth. When you allow God in, miracles begin. I don't mean just believing in God. I mean truly surrendering, truly opening your heart and letting that divine force take the lead in your life. When you do that, things don't just change, they transform. Think about it. How many times have you tried to figure everything out on your own? How many times have you fought, struggled, and pushed only to end up exhausted and frustrated? See, we live in a world that teaches us to hustle, grind, and control every outcome. But the greatest breakthroughs don't come from control, they come from trust. When you trust, doors open. I've seen it time and time again. People who were stuck in impossible situations, buried under financial stress, lost in relationships, or battling their own doubts and fears. But the moment they invited God into the process, things shifted, the right people showed up. Unexpected opportunities appeared. Surrender is one of the most powerful yet misunderstood principles when it comes to unlocking breakthroughs in life. People often equate surrender with weakness, as if letting go means giving up. But true surrender is not about quitting. It's about shifting from self-reliance to divine alignment. It's about recognizing that no matter how strong, smart, or determined we are, there are forces beyond our control. And when we hold on too tightly to our own plans, our own timing, and our own limited understanding, we actually block the very breakthroughs we're striving for. The world teaches us to hustle, grind, and make things happen through sheer force. We're conditioned to believe that if we just work harder, push more, and try to control every variable, we will eventually reach our goals. But how many times have you done everything right and still ended up feeling stuck? How often have you exhausted yourself trying to force an outcome, only to realize that things didn't go the way you planned? That's because breakthrough doesn't come from more control, it comes from more trust. There is a deeper wisdom at play in our lives, something beyond what we can see or predict. When we surrender, we are not abandoning our dreams or settling for less. We are making a conscious choice to step out of the way and allow something greater to take the lead. We are choosing faith over fear, trust over anxiety, and divine timing over personal deadlines. And when we do that, doors open in ways we never imagined. Think about the times in your life when you were holding on so tightly to something that you couldn't see any other way. Maybe it was a relationship that wasn't serving you, but you clung to it out of fear of being alone. Maybe it was a business idea that wasn't working, but you kept forcing it because you didn't want to admit it wasn't the right path. Maybe it was an opportunity that looked perfect on paper, but deep down something felt off. In every one of those situations, the tighter we grip, the more resistance we create. The more we try to manipulate, control, and force an outcome, the more stress, frustration, and disappointment we experience. But the moment we release, something shifts. When we step back and say, I don't have to figure this out on my own, suddenly space is created for new possibilities. Opportunities we never considered start to appear. People who can help us align with our true purpose show up. The right doors open at the right time, not because we forced them, but because we allowed them to. Surrender doesn't mean inaction. It doesn't mean we stop working toward our goals or sit back and wait for things to happen. It means we move forward with faith, knowing that we are being guided. It means we put in the effort, but release the need to control the outcome. It means we trust that even when things don't go according to our plan, there is a bigger plan unfolding, one that is ultimately for our highest good. One of the most powerful aspects of surrender is the peace that comes with it. When we stop fighting against the current and start flowing with it, the stress, anxiety, and fear that once consumed us begin to fade. We start to feel a sense of ease even in the midst of uncertainty. We begin to operate from a place of faith rather than fear. And when that happens, we start to see the miracles that were waiting for us all along. Breakthroughs don't come from a place of resistance. They come from a place of alignment. And alignment happens when we stop forcing and start flowing. when we stop clinging and start trusting, when we stop doubting and start believing, because the truth is, the moment we surrender is the moment we make room for something greater to take place. And in that space, miracles happen. Faith is often misunderstood as something passive, as if believing in something is enough to make it happen. But true faith is not just belief, it is action. It is moving forward even when the path is unclear, even when the outcome is uncertain, even when fear tries to convince you to stay where you are. Faith is stepping out before you see the proof, before you have all the answers, before the conditions seem perfect. It is trusting that what you desire is already on its way, even when there is no physical evidence yet. Many people wait for the perfect moment before they take action. They wait until they feel ready, until they have all the resources, until they have absolute certainty that everything will work out. But the truth is, those perfect conditions never come. If you wait for everything to be ideal, you will never move. Faith is about moving first, even when you don't see the whole staircase, even when you only have the first step in front of you. Because action in faith sends a signal that you are ready, that you believe, that you trust. And when you do that, things begin to shift. Think about the great stories of breakthrough and success throughout history. Rarely did these people have all the answers in the beginning. Rarely did they start with absolute certainty. They moved forward in faith, often against the odds, often when nothing seemed to be in their favor, but they took action. And that action, fueled by faith, is what created momentum. It is what opened doors. It is what brought opportunities they never could have predicted. Fear, on the other hand, keeps people stuck. Fear makes you believe that you need guarantees, that you need to see the whole plan before you begin, that you need to know every outcome before you take the first step. But fear is a liar. Fear is the voice that convinces you to stay where you are, to play small, to wait instead of move. And the longer you listen to fear, the more paralyzed you become. Faith is the antidote to fear. And faith is proven through action. It is one thing to say you believe, but real belief is demonstrated by what you do. If you truly believe in something, you move toward it. You don't just talk about it. You take steps in that direction, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's scary, even when other people don't understand, because faith-driven action creates ripples that extend far beyond what you can see in the moment. There are times in life when you will feel like you are walking in the dark. You won't see what's ahead. You won't know if the ground is solid beneath your feet. But if you take that step in faith, if you move even when you are unsure, you will find that the path reveals itself as you walk. You will see that opportunities begin to appear as you take action. You will discover that the very thing you were hoping for was waiting for you on the other side of that fear. The mistake most people make is waiting for the feeling of confidence before they act. But confidence doesn't come first, action does. Confidence is built through movement. The more you step forward, the more you realize that you are capable. The more you take risk, the more you see that you are stronger than you thought. The more you act in faith, the more your belief grows. And that belief is what creates the results you are looking for. Faith-driven action also requires persistence. It's not about taking one step and expecting everything to fall into place immediately. It's about continuing to move even when you face setbacks. It's about trusting the process even when it takes longer than expected. It's about knowing that just because you don't see results right away doesn't mean they aren't coming. So many people give up too soon because they don't see immediate proof that things are working. But faith is about holding on, about staying committed, about continuing to show up even when it's hard. Every major breakthrough requires a period of uncertainty. There will be moments when you doubt, when you wonder if you are making the right decision, when you question whether you should turn back. But the people who see miracles in their lives are the ones who keep moving forward despite that doubt. They don't wait for the fear to disappear, they move in spite of it. They don't wait for absolute certainty, they trust that clarity will come as they go. They don't wait for everything to be easy, They embrace the discomfort because they know that growth and transformation happen in the stretch. Faith in action also means being willing to take risks. It means stepping out of your comfort zone, being willing to fail, being willing to look foolish in pursuit of something greater. Because playing it safe will never lead to the breakthroughs you are seeking. Staying in your comfort zone might feel secure, but it is also the place where dreams go to die. Growth requires movement. Expansion requires risk. Miracles require faith-driven action. When you act in faith, you send a powerful message to yourself and to the world. You declare that you believe in something greater than what you can see. You declare that you trust in the unseen. You declare that you are willing to move toward your destiny, even when you don't have all the answers. And that kind of commitment, that kind of boldness, that kind of faith is what unlocks doors that would have otherwise remained closed. The people who create extraordinary lives are not the ones who had everything handed to them. They are the ones who moved forward when nothing was certain. They are the ones who kept going when others gave up. They are the ones who didn't just talk about faith, but lived it through their actions. They are the ones who decided that fear would not be their master, that doubt would not control them, that they would step forward even when it was uncomfortable. And as they did, things shifted. Opportunities appeared, people showed up at the right time, doors opened, the impossible became possible, not because they had all the answers, but because they had the courage to act in faith. And that is what separates those who live a life of purpose from those who stay stuck. It's not talent, it's not luck. It's the willingness to move when others hesitate. It's the willingness to believe when others doubt. It's the willingness to take action when fear whispers that it's too risky. Faith is not just a mindset, it is a way of living. It is a choice to keep going when the road is unclear. It is a decision to trust even when you don't see results yet. It is a commitment to move forward, knowing that the breakthrough you are seeking is already on its way, waiting for you to take that first step. When you invite God into your life, things begin to shift in ways you could never have orchestrated on your own. Alignment is not just about working hard or being in the right place at the right time. It's about being in harmony with the divine plan for your life. It's about moving with the current instead of against it. When you allow God in, you are no longer relying on just your own understanding, your own strategies, or your own limited perspective. You are tapping into something far greater, something that sees beyond what you can see, something that knows the exact timing, the exact opportunities, and the exact people you need in order to step into your destiny. Most people live life pushing, striving, and trying to make everything happen through sheer willpower. They hustle, they grind, they stress, and they constantly feel like they are running uphill. But when you are in alignment, things begin to flow. It doesn't mean you won't have challenges. It doesn't mean you won't have to work hard. But it does mean that you will start to see doors open that you couldn't have opened on your own. You will start to meet the right people at the right time. You will start to see opportunities appear that you never could have forced into place. Alignment means that you are no longer fighting against what is meant for you. It means that you are listening, you are following, you are trusting. And when you do that, acceleration happens. What once took years can happen in months. What once seemed impossible suddenly becomes your new reality. It's not because you are working harder, it's because you are moving in the right direction. So many people waste years chasing things that were never meant for them. They pursue paths that look good on paper, but don't align with their purpose. They make decisions out of fear instead of faith. They say yes to opportunities that take them further away from their calling instead of closer to it. And then they wonder why they feel stuck, frustrated, and exhausted. But when you align yourself with God's plan, things start falling into place. The right doors open and the wrong doors close. The distractions fall away and clarity takes their place. The key to alignment is surrender. It is saying, I don't have to figure this all out on my own. I don't have to make everything happen through my own strength. I trust that there is a greater plan at work and I choose to follow it. This doesn't mean you stop taking action. It means you take the right action. It means you stop wasting time on things that are out of alignment. It means you stop trying to control outcomes that are not yours to control. It means you step into a flow where things come together naturally instead of through struggle. When you are in alignment, things move faster. There is an ease to it, a grace to it. It doesn't mean everything is effortless, but it does mean that things are working together for your good. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop forcing and start allowing. You stop stressing and start trusting. And that trust creates momentum, it creates acceleration, it puts you in the right place at the right time for the right opportunities. There is a difference between trying to make something happen and stepping into something that is already happening. When you are out of alignment, it feels like an uphill battle. You push and push, but nothing seems to work. But when you are in alignment, things start to come together in ways you couldn't have imagined. The right phone call, the right conversation, the right connection. Things that seemed impossible before suddenly become your reality. Alignment is about listening. It's about being in tune with where you are being guided. It's about following the signs, paying attention to the nudges, and not ignoring the things that don't feel right. It's about having the courage to walk away from what is not meant for you and step into what is. It's about trusting that when one door closes, another one is about to open, one that is far greater than what you were holding on to. Most people don't experience acceleration in their lives because they are too afraid to let go of what is no longer serving them. They stay in relationships that drain them, jobs that stifle them, and environments that hold them back. And then they wonder why they feel stuck. But the moment you allow God to lead, the moment you say, I trust that what is meant for me will not pass me by, you will start to experience a shift. The weight that you've been carrying will start to lift. The resistance you've been feeling will start to ease. The struggle will start to turn into flow. Alignment also requires patience. Sometimes things don't happen on your timeline because they are being prepared for you in ways you can't yet see. Sometimes delays are actually divine protection. Sometimes what feels like a setback is actually a setup for something greater. When you are in alignment, you trust the timing. You trust that what is for you will come to you. You trust that you don't have to rush, manipulate, or force things into place. You trust that what is meant for you is already making its way towards you. Acceleration happens when you stop resisting and start cooperating. It happens when you let go of the things that no longer align with who you are becoming. It happens when you make space for what is truly meant for you. It happens when you stop letting fear drive your decisions and start moving with faith. So many people hold on to things that are keeping them from their blessings. They hold on to the familiar because it feels safe, even when it's no longer serving them. But the moment you let go of what is not aligned, you create space for something greater. And when you create that space, acceleration happens. What you were once chasing begins to chase you. What once seemed out of reach becomes your new reality. There are moments in life when you will be asked to take a leap before you see the net. When you will be asked to step into something new before you feel ready. When you will be asked to trust even when there is no evidence yet. And those are the moments that define your destiny. Those are the moments that separate the people who stay stuck from the people who rise. When you align with what is meant for you, things don't just change, they transform. Your relationships shift, your opportunities expand, your energy elevates. You start to attract the right people, the right situations, the right resources. Things that once felt difficult begin to flow. The weight you are carrying starts to lift. The clarity you are searching for starts to appear. Most people never experience this kind of acceleration because they're too afraid to let go of what is familiar. But the ones who trust, the ones who surrender, the ones who say, I am ready for what is truly meant for me, those are the ones who see miracles unfold. Those are the ones who experience breakthroughs they never could have planned. Those are the ones who step into the kind of life they once only dreamed about. Alignment creates acceleration. When you allow God in, you are no longer working alone. You are co-creating with the divine. You are moving with a force greater than yourself. You are stepping into the flow of your true destiny. And when you do that, things move fast. Doors open. Opportunities appear. The impossible becomes inevitable, and suddenly everything changes. Obstacles are a part of life. No one is exempt from challenges, setbacks, or difficulties. But the difference between those who rise and those who stay stuck is the perspective they have about those obstacles. Most people see obstacles as problems, as barriers standing in their way, as things that slow them down or prevent them from moving forward. But the truth is, obstacles are not meant to stop you, they are meant to shape you. They are opportunities in disguise, placed in your path, not to block you, but to build you. Every great success story is filled with moments of adversity, moments where everything seemed to go wrong, moments where giving up seemed like the logical choice. But the people who break through are the ones who choose to see obstacles differently. They don't see them as stop signs, they see them as stepping stones. They don't see them as punishment, they see them as preparation. Every obstacle contains a lesson, a gift, a hidden advantage. But most people miss it because they are too focused on the struggle instead of the opportunity within it. The struggle is what develops your strength. The delay is what teaches you patience. The rejection is what forces you to refine your vision. The setback is what prepares you for the comeback. When you shift your mindset and start seeing obstacles as opportunities, everything changes. Instead of feeling defeated, you feel determined. Instead of being discouraged, you become empowered. Instead of backing down, you rise up. Because now you understand that the very thing you thought was standing in your way is actually the thing that will propel you forward. Think about any time in your life when you faced a major challenge. Maybe you lost a job, and at the time it felt like the worst thing that could happen. But looking back, you realize that losing that job pushed you into something even better. Something you never would have pursued if you had stayed comfortable. Maybe a relationship ended, and at the time it broke you. But later you saw that it was making space for something healthier, something that aligned with who you truly are. Maybe you failed at something you worked hard for, but that failure forced you to grow in ways you never would have otherwise. The obstacle that once felt like a curse turned out to be a blessing. The pain that once seemed unbearable turned out to be the thing that shaped you into the person you were meant to become. Obstacles are not here to stop you, they are here to strengthen you. But you have to be willing to look beyond the immediate frustration, beyond the discomfort, beyond the fear, because if you only focus on how hard it is, you will never see the opportunity within it. The challenge is not meant to break you, it's meant to push you to dig deeper, to tap into strength you didn't know you had, to develop the resilience that will prepare you for the next level of your life. Every challenge you face is preparing you for something greater. Every setback is setting you up for something bigger. But you have to be willing to trust the process. Most people want success without struggle, growth without challenges, rewards without resistance. But that's not how life works. The very process of overcoming obstacles is what shapes you into the person who is ready for success. Without the struggle, you wouldn't develop the skills. Without the obstacles, you wouldn't build the mindset. Without the resistance, you wouldn't become strong enough to sustain the success when it comes. The obstacle is not the enemy, it is the training ground. It is the refining fire. It is the test that prepares you for the testimony. And once you understand that, you stop fearing obstacles and start embracing them. You stop avoiding challenges and start facing them head on. You stop seeing difficulties as roadblocks and start seeing them as stepping stones. Every obstacle is an opportunity for transformation. The moments that test you the most are the moments that shape you the most. But you have to be willing to lean into the discomfort, to trust that there is something greater on the other side, to believe that what you are going through is not happening to you, but for you. Most people resist obstacles because they are uncomfortable. They don't want to deal with setbacks, disappointments, or challenges. They want the easy road. But the easy road does not lead to greatness. The easy road does not build champions. The easy road does not prepare you for the kind of life you were meant to live. The people who achieve extraordinary things are the ones who refuse to be defeated by obstacles. They don't let challenges define them. They let challenges refine them. They don't let difficulties break them. They let difficulties build them. They understand that every obstacle is a teacher, every struggle is a lesson, every setback is a setup for something greater. And because of that mindset, they don't give up when things get hard. They push through, they rise, they grow, and in doing so, they transform into the person they were meant to be. Think about the most inspiring people in the world. The people whose stories move you, the people who have created impact, who have changed lives, who have achieved greatness. Their stories are not free of obstacles. In fact, their stories are filled with them. The difference is they refuse to let those obstacles stop them. They saw every setback as an opportunity to grow. They saw every failure as a stepping stone to success. They saw every challenge as a chance to become better, stronger, wiser. And because of that, they rose. They achieved what others thought was impossible. They broke through barriers. They overcame odds. They did not let circumstances define their destiny. They let their response to those circumstances define their destiny. The same is true for you. The obstacles you are facing right now are not here to stop you. They are here to prepare you. They are here to shape you. They are here to make you stronger, wiser, more resilient. But you have to choose how you respond. You can see them as problems, or you can see them as possibilities. You can see them as reasons to quit, or you can see them as reasons to rise. You can see them as barriers, or you can see them as bridges. The choice is yours. The moment you shift your perspective, everything changes. You stop feeling like a victim and start feeling like a warrior. You stop seeing problems and start seeing potential. You stop waiting for things to get easier and start getting stronger. And as you do that, you begin to experience breakthroughs you never thought possible. The things that once held you back become the very things that push you forward. The struggles that once seemed unbearable become the very things that make you unstoppable. The obstacles that once seemed like barriers become the very things that lead you to your greatest victories. Every great success story is filled with moments of adversity. Moments where everything seemed to go wrong, moments where the person had every reason to give up but chose to keep going instead. And that choice, that decision to keep going despite the obstacles, is what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. It is not about talent. It is not about luck. It is about mindset. It is about the willingness to see obstacles as opportunities. It is about the determination to rise above the challenges. It is about the faith to believe that every setback is simply a setup for something greater. The obstacles you are facing today are not the end of your story. They are the beginning of something powerful. They are the proving ground. They are the preparation. They are the stepping stones to your next level. But only if you choose to see them that way. Only if you decide that nothing will stop you. Only if you make the choice to rise no matter what. Faith is the foundation of everything. It is the force that moves mountains, the unseen power that turns dreams into reality, the belief that what you desire is already on its way, even when there is no visible evidence yet. Most people live their lives dictated by what they see, what they can measure, what seems logical. But faith operates on a completely different level. It is not about what your eyes can perceive. It is about what your spirit knows to be true. It is the confidence that something greater is at work, even when the circumstances don't seem to support it. The biggest reason people fail to step into their purpose is that they only believe in what they can see. They allow fear, doubt, and uncertainty to dictate their decisions. They look at their past, at their current reality, at the obstacles in front of them, and they convince themselves that what they want is not possible. But faith does not work that way. Faith requires you to believe before you see it. Faith demands that you trust even when there is no evidence yet. Faith challenges you to step forward, even when you don't know how it's all going to work out. Think about the most successful people in history, the ones who changed the world, who achieved the impossible, who created something extraordinary. They did not have guarantees. They did not have all the answers. They did not have a perfect plan laid out in front of them. But they had faith. They had an unshakable belief that something greater was guiding them. They knew deep in their souls that what they were working toward was already theirs. They just had to keep moving forward until it materialized. Faith is not passive. It is not just sitting back and waiting for something to happen. Faith is action. It is stepping out even when you don't have all the details. It is making bold moves even when fear tries to hold you back. It is taking risks even when people doubt you. Faith is knowing that what is meant for you is already on its way to you, and all you have to do is keep going. Most people let fear run their lives. They hesitate, they second guess. They wait for the perfect moment, but the perfect moment will never come. There will always be uncertainty. There will always be unknowns. There will always be reasons to wait. But faith says, I don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first step. Faith says, I don't need all the answers to move forward. Faith says, I trust that as I take action, the path will be revealed. Every major breakthrough, every success, every transformation begins with faith. It begins with a decision to believe, even when logic says otherwise. It begins with the willingness to trust that what is meant for you will not pass you by. It begins with the understanding that you do not have to know how everything will unfold. You just have to take the first step. Faith requires you to silence the voices of doubt. It requires you to ignore the naysayers, the critics, the ones who tell you it's not possible. It requires you to stop listening to the part of your mind that tries to talk you out of your dreams. Because doubt will always be there. Fear will always whisper reasons why you should stay where you are, why you should play it safe, why you should lower your expectations. But faith drowns out the noise. Faith stands firm in the face of uncertainty. Faith declares, I don't have to see it yet, I know it's already done. The biggest mistake people make is waiting for certainty before they act. They wait for the perfect conditions, the perfect timing, the perfect plan. But faith does not wait. Faith moves. Faith steps out. Faith acts in the present, knowing that the future will unfold as it should. Faith understands that the vision placed in your heart is there for a reason. If you were given the dream, you are also given the ability to achieve it. But you will never reach it if you let fear keep you paralyzed. Think about any major decision in your life that led to something amazing. It probably wasn't easy. It probably required you to take a risk, to step into the unknown, to trust that it would work out even when you weren't sure how. That is faith. Faith is knowing that you are being guided. It is knowing that every step you take is leading you closer to your destiny. It is knowing that even the obstacles, the delays, the setbacks are all part of the plan. Faith also requires patience. Most people want immediate results. They want to see progress right away. They want instant confirmation that what they are doing is working. But faith doesn't always give you immediate validation. Sometimes you have to keep going even when it feels like nothing is happening. Sometimes you have to trust that the seeds you planted are growing beneath the surface, even if you can't see them yet. The people who achieve great things are the ones who keep moving forward even when there is no visible proof that their efforts are paying off. They understand that faith is not about instant gratification. It is about persistence, endurance, and trust. They know that just because they don't see the results yet doesn't mean they aren't coming. They know that the breakthrough is on its way even if it hasn't arrived yet. Faith is also about gratitude. Most people focus on what they don't have, what's missing, what hasn't happened yet. But faith says, I am grateful now for what is coming. Faith thanks the universe in advance. Faith celebrates the victory before it arrives. Faith operates from a place of certainty, not doubt. When you live in faith, you don't spend your time worrying about whether or not things will work out. You already know they will. You live with confidence, with expectation, with excitement. You know that the doors will open, the opportunities will come, the right people will show up. You know that you are being led, that you are on the right path, that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Most people struggle because they operate from fear instead of faith. They play small because they are afraid of failure. They settle because they don't believe they can have more. They give up because they don't trust that things are working out in their favor. But the ones who achieve greatness are the ones who refuse to let fear dictate their lives. They are the ones who step out even when they are scared. They are the ones who take risks even when it feels uncomfortable. They are the ones who choose to believe even when there is no evidence yet. Faith is not always easy. It will challenge you, it will stretch you, it will require you to step outside of your comfort zone. But it will also transform you. It will take you places you never imagined. It will open doors you never thought possible. It will lead you to a life that is bigger, better, and more fulfilling than you ever dreamed. But only if you are willing to trust. Only if you are willing to take the leap. Only if you are willing to believe before you see. Every great achievement, every major breakthrough, every extraordinary success begins with faith. It begins with a decision to trust that what you desire is already on its way. It begins with a willingness to move forward even when the path is unclear. It begins with the understanding that you do not have to figure everything out, you just have to take the first step. Faith is the key that unlocks the impossible. Faith is the bridge between where you are and where you are meant to be. Faith is the force that transforms dreams into reality, and the moment you decide to live by faith, everything changes. There is a force greater than you that is always working in your favor. A force that is moving behind the scenes, aligning opportunities, orchestrating breakthroughs, and making a way where there seems to be no way. The problem is, most people live their lives unaware of this power. They operate as if they are alone, as if they have to figure everything out by themselves, as if every outcome depends solely on their effort. And while effort is important, there is something far greater at play. There is a divine intelligence, a guiding presence, a supernatural power that is constantly working on your behalf. The key is to recognize it, to trust in it, to allow it to move through you rather than trying to force everything on your own. Most people struggle because they believe they have to control every detail of their lives. They stress, they overthink, they try to manipulate outcomes. They cling to their own limited understanding, but real power comes from surrendering. It comes from trusting that there is something bigger than you at work. It comes from knowing that when you align yourself with that higher power, things start to fall into place in ways you never could have orchestrated on your own. When you live from this place, you stop forcing things and start flowing with life. You stop worrying about how everything will unfold and start trusting that it is already being handled. This doesn't mean you don't take action. It doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. It means you take action from a place of trust rather than fear. It means you step forward with confidence, knowing that you are being guided. It means you let go of the need to control every little detail and instead open yourself to the possibilities that are unfolding in ways you may not even see yet. The people who achieve the greatest success are not the ones who strive and struggle the most. They are the ones who understand how to move with divine timing, how to align with the energy that is already working in their favor, how to trust that what is meant for them will always find them. Think about a time in your life when something worked out better than you expected. Maybe it was an opportunity that came out of nowhere, a connection that seemed too perfect to be a coincidence, a situation that miraculously resolved itself in your favor. Those moments are not random. They are evidence that there is a force working on your behalf. The problem is most people dismiss them. They think it was luck. They think it was just a fortunate accident. But the truth is those moments are happening all the time. You just have to start paying attention. You have to start expecting them. You have to start trusting that things are being aligned for you, even when you can't see the full picture yet. When you truly allow this higher power to guide you, life begins to feel different. You no longer live in a state of stress and anxiety because you know that you are supported. You no longer doubt whether things will work out because you understand that they already are. You no longer operate from a place of fear because you know that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Most people live in a constant state of worry. They worry about money, about relationships, about their future. They think they have to figure it all out on their own. But the moment you release that burden, the moment you allow the higher power to move through your life, things begin to shift. Doors open that you didn't even know existed. Opportunities appear that you never saw coming. Solutions present themselves in ways you never could have imagined. This is not about blind faith. It's about knowing that the same force that created the universe is also guiding your life. It's about realizing that you are never alone, that you are always being supported, that everything is working together for your good. But you have to allow it, you have to trust it, you have to stop resisting and start receiving. Most people block their own blessings because they are too focused on how things should happen instead of being open to the infinite ways they could happen. They try to control the process instead of allowing the process to unfold. They get frustrated when things don't go according to their plan, not realizing that there is a greater plan at work. The truth is, the things you desire are already on their way to you. The breakthroughs you've been praying for, the opportunities you've been seeking, the success you've been working for, it's all already aligned. Your job is not to figure out how it will happen. Your job is to align yourself with the energy of trust, to move with confidence, to take inspired action, and to allow the flow of life to carry you where you are meant to be. When you live this way, you start to notice signs everywhere. You start to see how things are always working out for you, even when it doesn't seem like it at first. You begin to realize that delays are not denials. They are divine timing at work. You start to understand that closed doors are not rejection. They are redirection towards something better. You stop living in resistance and start living in alignment. And when you live in alignment, miracles become a natural part of your life. Things that once seemed impossible begin to happen effortlessly. Goals that once felt out of reach start manifesting faster than you ever imagined. Situations that once caused you stress and frustration suddenly resolve themselves in your favor. This is the power of surrender. This is the power of allowing the divine to work through you instead of trying to force everything on your own. When you truly grasp this, you stop living in struggle. You stop trying to control everything. You stop operating from fear. And instead, you start living in trust. You start moving with confidence. You start expecting miracles instead of doubting them. Most people don't experience this kind of flow because they are too caught up in fear and doubt. They think they have to push and fight for everything they want. But real power comes from allowing. Real success comes from aligning with the energy that is already working in your favor. When you stop resisting and start receiving, everything changes. You begin to experience breakthroughs faster. You start to attract the right people, the right opportunities, the right circumstances. You start to see that everything is always working for you, not against you. This is not about passivity. It's about moving with divine intelligence. It's about trusting the process. It's about understanding that when you are in alignment, things happen with ease. You don't have to chase, you attract. You don't have to force, you flow. You don't have to struggle, you receive. And when you operate from this place, your entire life transforms. The people who achieve extraordinary things are the ones who understand this principle. They are not the ones who struggle the hardest, they are the ones who trust the deepest. They are the ones who know without a doubt that they are being guided. They take action, but they do it from a place of certainty, not desperation. They move forward with confidence, not fear. They expect success, not struggle. And because of that, they experience results that most people only dream of. This is the secret to unlocking your greatest potential. It's not about working harder, it's about working in alignment. It's not about forcing things, it's about allowing them. It's not about fear, it's about trust. And the moment you make this shift, the moment you decide to truly allow the divine to move through your life, everything will change in ways you never imagined. The power of gratitude is one of the most transformative forces in the universe. It shifts your energy, rewires your mind, and creates an environment where miracles can unfold effortlessly. Most people go through life focused on what's missing, on what's wrong, on what hasn't happened yet. They live in a state of lack, constantly thinking about what they don't have, what they need, what they wish was different. But gratitude flips that script. Gratitude is the key that unlocks abundance, the mindset that turns struggles into stepping stones, the practice that turns ordinary moments into extraordinary blessings. When you live with gratitude, you step into a completely different frequency. You stop seeing problems as obstacles and start seeing them as opportunities for growth. You stop dwelling on what isn't working and start recognizing everything that is. You begin to understand that no matter what is happening in your life, there is always something to be grateful for. And the more you focus on those things, the more you attract even greater things to be grateful for. Gratitude is not just about saying thank you when something good happens. It is a way of being, a way of seeing the world, a way of living in alignment with the energy of abundance. It is about appreciating what you have now, even as you work toward more. It is about celebrating the small victories, the simple moments, the blessings that are already present in your life. When you cultivate this mindset, you begin to see that your life is already filled with miracles. You just weren't paying attention before. Most people operate from a scarcity mindset. They wake up thinking about what they don't have, what they need to fix, what they wish were different. And because their focus is on lack, that's what they continue to attract. They stay stuck in cycles of frustration, stress, and disappointment because they are constantly reinforcing the idea that what they have isn't enough. But when you shift into gratitude, everything changes. You start to see the good in your life. You start to recognize the abundance that is already present. You start to feel different. And because you feel different, you begin to attract different experiences. The science behind gratitude is undeniable. Studies have shown that people who practice gratitude regularly experience lower stress levels, improved mental health, better relationships, and even stronger physical health. Why? Because gratitude changes your brain. It rewires your neural pathways, shifting your focus from problems to possibilities, from stress to serenity, from lack to abundance. It literally trains your mind to see the good, to expect good, and to create good. Think about a time when you were truly grateful. Maybe it was a moment when you realized how much someone in your life meant to you. Maybe it was a time when you overcame a challenge and looked back with appreciation for the lessons you learned. Maybe it was something as simple as watching a beautiful sunset, feeling deep appreciation for the beauty of the world around you. In those moments, you weren't worried about what was missing. You weren't focused on what was wrong. You were fully present, fully engaged, fully in alignment with the energy of abundance. That's the power of gratitude. It brings you into the present moment. It pulls you out of stress, out of fear, out of worry, and into a state of peace and appreciation. Gratitude also shifts your relationships. When you appreciate the people in your life, they feel it. When you focus on what you love about them instead of what annoys you, your relationships deepen. When you express gratitude for the kindness, support, and love you receive, those things multiply. Most relationships break down because people stop appreciating each other. They start taking each other for granted, focusing on flaws instead of strengths, on what's missing instead of what's there. But when you make gratitude a daily practice in your relationships, everything shifts. You create a space for love, connection, and understanding to grow. You start noticing the little things, the efforts, the kindness, instead of waiting for a special occasion to say thank you. You make it a daily habit. One of the most powerful ways to practice gratitude is through perspective. No matter what you're going through, someone out there would give anything to have your life. Someone would love to have your opportunities, your resources, your abilities. When you remember this, it puts everything into perspective. You stop complaining about the small inconveniences and start realizing how blessed you truly are. You stop focusing on what's going wrong and start appreciating everything that's going right. Gratitude is also the antidote to fear. Fear thrives in uncertainty, in focusing on the worst case scenario, in worrying about what might go wrong, but gratitude anchors you in the present. It reminds you that you have made it through every challenge so far. It reminds you that you're stronger than you think. It reminds you that there is always something to be thankful for, even in the midst of difficulty. Even in the hardest moments of life, gratitude can be your guiding light. It doesn't mean pretending that challenges don't exist. It doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means choosing to focus on the good even in the midst of struggle. It means recognizing that even in difficult times, there are still lessons, still growth, still moments of beauty to be found. Some of the most successful people in the world have faced unimaginable hardships, but they use gratitude as their foundation. They found reasons to be thankful even when everything seemed to be falling apart. And because of that, they were able to rise stronger, wiser, and more resilient than ever before. Gratitude is also about faith. It is about trusting that what is meant for you is already on its way. It is about believing that even if you don't see the results yet, they are coming. When you are grateful in advance for what you desire, you are signaling to the universe that you already believe in its arrival. You are stepping into a state of certainty rather than doubt, and when you operate from that place, you naturally attract what you seek. This is why successful people always talk about gratitude. It's not just a feel-good practice. It's a powerful force that creates real change. It shifts your focus, raises your energy, and aligns you with opportunities you may have never even considered before. When you start each day with gratitude, you set the tone for everything that follows. You train your mind to look for the good, and when you look for the good, you find it everywhere. If you want to transform your life, start with gratitude. Make it a daily habit. Write down 3 things you're grateful for every morning. Express appreciation to the people around you. Find reasons to be thankful even in challenging moments. The more you practice gratitude, the more natural it becomes. And as it becomes a habit, your entire life will begin to shift. People who live in gratitude radiate a different energy. They are happier, more fulfilled, more magnetic. They attract more opportunities, more success, more joy. They live with a sense of peace and certainty that most people never experience. And the best part? Anyone can cultivate this. Gratitude is a choice. It's a decision you make every single day. It doesn't depend on your circumstances. It depends on your mindset. You don't have to wait for everything to be perfect to be grateful. You don't have to wait for the big wins, the major milestones, the breakthroughs. Start now. Be grateful for where you are. Be grateful for the lessons, for the growth, for the opportunities ahead. The more you focus on what you have, the more you will receive. The more you appreciate life, the more life will appreciate you. And when you live in a state of gratitude, miracles become your new normal.